Welcome to this video. In this video, we will discuss about the working of Class B push-pull power amplifier. As I have explained in the introduction part of push-pull power amplifiers, in Class B operation, we will bias the transistor at cutoff. Or in other words, the transistor is at cutoff initially, and only when the signal is applied in the circuit, transistor will conduct. So there is no specific biasing arrangement as such. It is transistor is at cutoff. So I have shown an IC versus VC plane here, and this is our DC load line, and this yellow colored portion is the Q point. This is marked as Q point. So Q point is at cutoff. You can see that at this point base current will be 0. This we have seen earlier, and corresponding to this point, you can see that collector current is also 0. So at this point, transistor base current as well as collector current are 0. So transistor is off. So it is at cutoff point. When an input signal is applied to the transistor under this condition, during the positive half cycle of the input signal, it will base emitter junction of the transistor will become forward biased, and this Q point will move upwards through this DC load line. So corresponding to that, you will get positive half cycle of collector current. Collector current will complete its positive half cycle. When the input signal goes through the negative half cycle, you can see that the base emitter junction of the transistor will become reverse biased. So the collector current will become 0. So collector current cannot flow during this 180 degree to 360 degree portion. So during the negative half cycle of input signal, collector current will be 0. That is marked here. Then again during the positive half cycle of the input signal, again collector current will start flowing. Similarly, you can see that if you do the same projection here, you can see that collector to emitter voltage or output voltage will only be available during one half cycle. Only during the positive half cycle of input signal it is available. During the negative half cycle of input signal it is 0. Okay. So what is the disadvantage? We are getting output current or power is delivered to the load only during half cycle of the input signal. So faithful amplification is not obtained, and power is delivered only during half cycle. So it is a major disadvantage. So to overcome this disadvantage, we have to go for a push-pull arrangement. So before going into that, let me point out this. Zero signal collector current in this Class B power amplifier will be 0. What is the meaning of this? Zero signal collector current means DC collector current, or the collector current without any signal being applied to the circuit. So without any signal being applied, transistor will be sitting at this cutoff point. So collector current will be 0. That is the meaning of this sentence. Then, as we have seen, during the positive half cycle of input signal only we are getting output. So to get a complete full cycle output across the load, we will use two Class B circuits, an upper Class B circuit and a lower Class B circuit. So there will be a transistor in this upper Class B circuit, and there is another transistor, a second transistor in this lower circuit, and this will be configured in such a way that this upper transistor will conduct during the positive half cycle of the input signal. So you will get output during the positive half cycle of input signal due to this upper circuit. Then this transistor in this lower Class B circuit will be active. It will turn on during the negative half cycle of input signal. So you will get output during the negative half cycle of input signal also. So the load will see a continuous waveform. It will see a full 360 degree full cycle waveform. Okay. So this particular arrangement where you are using two transistors which are operating in tandem in a push-pull mode is known as Class B push-pull power amplifier. So you will see the actual circuit diagram. So it is drawn here. There is a voltage source also here, VCC. Okay. Now you can see that there are two transistors, as I have explained, Q1 and Q2, and there are two transformers also. there is a transformer on the input side to provide galvanic isolation between the signal and the amplifier, and it also provides impedance matching. And there is another transformer on the output side that also provides impedance matching as well as isolation. Now suppose the input signal goes through its positive half cycle. Let us see what happens in the circuit. During positive half cycle of the input signal, this upper terminal will be positive and this lower terminal will be negative. So it will induce EMF on the secondary of the transformer. So these terminals will be having polarity like this. Okay. So which one of the transistors Q1 and Q2 will turn on? We can see that this is positive. So transistor Q1 will get base drive. Base emitter junction of Q1 will be forward biased. So base current will flow through this Q1. So Q1 will turn on. So this battery can complete the circuit and it can pump current into this transistor. So collector current will flow like this. So collector current will be flowing through the upper half of this primary winding. So EMF will be induced in the secondary winding. So current will be flowing in the secondary winding. So current will flow through the load. Okay. So to make the analysis simple, I am not marking any dot conventions. Since you have not studied dot conventions yet in your circuit theory, I am not marking any dot conventions for the transformer. You will study that later in your circuits. Now, during the negative half cycle of the input signal, let me erase this. During the negative half cycle of the input signal, this will become negative and this will become positive. The upper terminal negative and lower terminal positive. So the polarity on the secondary side will be like this. So you can see that this lower transistor Q2 will get base drive. Its base emitter junction will become forward biased. So it will turn on. So this VCC will circulate current through Q2 like this. Collector current will be flowing through Q2 like this. So the lower section of the primary winding is energized. So it will induce EMF on the secondary winding. So current will be flowing in the load. Okay. So load will be receiving power on both half cycles, both in positive as well as negative half cycle of VI. Load will be getting power. So a continuous supply of power is obtained. Now we will derive an expression for conversion efficiency of the circuit. So conversion efficiency is defined as output AC power delivered to the load divided by DC power drawn from the VCC or DC power supply. So first we will calculate what is PNDC. PNDC we will calculate. So PNDC is the DC voltage multiplied by DC current. So DC voltage is nothing but VCC. Voltage of the DC power supply is VCC. Okay, so PNDC is VCC multiplied by current drawn from the battery, average DC current drawn from the battery. So from the explanation, we know that during positive half cycle of the input signal, current will be flowing through the battery like this, in this direction. And during negative half cycle of the input signal, current is flowing through the battery like this. So during both half cycles, current is flowing through the battery. During positive half cycle, it will be the collector current, positive half cycle of the collector current, and during negative half cycle of the input signal also, in the same direction current is flowing. So the shape of the current waveform in battery will be like this. It will be like a fully rectified waveform. Okay. So what is the average value of a fully rectified sine wave? It is 2 by pi times its peak value. So suppose ICP is the peak collector current. So average value of this waveform will be 2 by pi times ICP. Okay. So average DC current delivered by this VCC is 2 by pi times ICP, where ICP is the peak value of collector current. Now what is the output AC power delivered to the load? That is voltage across the load, RMS value of voltage across the load. Since it is AC circuit, AC power, it is RMS value of voltage across the load square divided by load. Actually the load is sitting in the secondary side. We are referring everything to the primary, so it is RL dash. RL dash is the effective resistance referred to primary. This we have seen earlier when we discussed about transformer coupled amplifiers. So what is the relation between RMS value of voltage and peak value of load voltage? RMS value is actually peak value by root 2. VLP by root 2 the whole square divided by RL dash. So this is nothing but VLP square by 2 RL dash. Okay, so this is equation number 1 and this is equation number 2. Now we can calculate conversion efficiency. Conversion efficiency is P out AC divided by P in DC. P out AC is VLP square by 2 RL dash. VLP square by 2 RL dash divided by P in DC is VCC into 2 ICP by pi. Now what is the relation between VLP and ICP? Peak value of voltage divided by load resistance will give you the peak value of current. Okay, so VLP square by 2 RL dash divided by VCC into ICP can be written as VLP divided by RL dash. This 2 by pi factor is here. Okay, so if you simplify this, RL dash will cancel. This will become pi by 4. 1 VLP will cancel. So this will be pi by 4 into VLP by VCC. So the conversion efficiency is pi by 4 into VLP by VCC into 100%. So what will be the maximum conversion efficiency? Maximum conversion efficiency will be available when this VLP goes to its maximum possible swing. You can go back to the DC load line circuit figure. We can see that the maximum possible swing in the load voltage is this, and that is VCC. This point is VCC comma 0, as we have studied earlier. So maximum possible swing is VCC. If we substitute the value of maximum possible VLP here, that is VCC, we will get the maximum conversion efficiency. So it is pi by 4 into 100%. So if you do the calculation, you can see that it is around 78.5%. So the maximum possible conversion efficiency in class B push-pull power amplifier is 78.5%. So we will stop it here. We will continue in next video. Thank you.